the results.
Why did you say not being a dick? Was someone a dick to you recently?
I don't know. People would just get like really aggressive about like the drugs and stuff like that. I remember, I remember one party after Goat's Head, after a show.
You went to a party after?
Yeah, it was the one where you accidentally did meth.
I didn't do it at that party though. I did that at that girl I was hanging with and her boyfriend's house when we went back to.
How did you not know it was meth?
Well, because they said they listed off what was in it.
There was no like.
They were like, oh, it's like a little bit of like blow, a little bit of something else, and a little bit of speed. And I thought speed was Adderall. Oopsies.
And yeah, so it was like
But like, how'd they smoke it?
No, we didn't smoke it. We just parachuted it. So we put they had basically it was like a cocktail of like everything they had left over from like their party, because like they were like party people, and so like.
That's such a fun euphemism.
Yeah, it was like a cocktail. So there was like blow and like speed and like probably like other.
So like what's that thing called from Get Him to the Greek?
Oh, Jeffrey.
Yeah, so it was like a Jeffrey.
Basically, and then he put it like he would pinch it and then like put it in like a Kleenex. And then you bunched up the Kleenex and you ate the Kleenex.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's what a parachute. I was doing this.
Oh yeah,
Kevin.
I don't know what that is.
Kevin doesn't know.
I was really hoping that she was going to explain it and I didn't have to ask and just be like, I'm so vanilla. But I definitely don't know what that
I know that you don't know what a lot of things are, so I will.
Oh, I am so...
Like sex?
Yeah, I don't know anything about sex. Never had it. But yeah, it was a fun party. That was the first time I got a chance to host at Comic Strip.
Oh.
So Monday night we did the Goat's Head comedy show and I did the hosting, and then we went to an after party and I got to see a bunch of people do cocaine and play dice. It was a fun.
I don't remember the dice.
It was like you were in a different room.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was doing.
Yeah, it was a wild party, and there was so many people there, and I didn't know like any of them. I knew Sausha, and
I do not remember this party.
Yeah, it was in the basement of like.
I remember it, but I also don't remember it.
Yeah, and it was a guy that goes to O'Byrne's like a lot. Like he's like a regular, but he's like also works up north. So like if this is sounding familiar, it's
you, baby.
It's a. But yeah, and so I got to see a bunch of people like do cocaine off mirrors. I've never seen that like outside of a movie.
Yeah.
So it was really like fun for me.
Really fun experience.
Yeah, and like I didn't do any drugs. I played dice. I played dice with them, and I won because I was sober, and no one else could do math at that point. And then I left. I left that party. I got home around like 5:30, and I had to wake up in an hour to go to work. And then I did that, and then I went straight to the comic strip to host the amateur night for the very first time, and I was like running on like an hour of sleep.
Oh shit!
And like 6 cups of coffee to try and like figure it out.
Did it work?
And I did well enough that I have done it in afterwards.
Oh yeah,
so.
same. I do that all the time.
No,
it's
I
my
mean
favorite way to go on stage.
It was
hour of sleep, 6 cups of coffee.
Yeah. But it was good enough that they had me back to do the hosting. It's just on the amateur night. It's nothing.
You host a weekly show. You like.
I can pull it off. I think I can pull it
off.
off.
You
Yeah.
both have been hosting for how long now?
The show is coming into its 4th year.
That's 4 years of hosting experience.
Yeah.
Technically, I guess 2 years each because you switch off.
And when we first
I never hosted.
Yeah.
I was like really scared, so I always gave it to Kevin. I even gave my spots to Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, there's definitely times where Arturo's like sat out, and like I did the hosting like every week for like a year, and it was like it really.
And also that was the time where I was like using still, so sometimes I wouldn't even show up. Like I would message you like, "Hey, I'm not feeling it." The next day I would tell you what would happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now you both are really like I think you both have a really good.
Who do you think's
like,
better?
I don't think either of you are better.
That's a good answer. People have come up to me and saying like, hey, they really like seeing you do more stand-up. Yeah. They like seeing you host and shit like that. So whenever I'm out at shows, people always kind of like, not always, but like sometimes there's definitely people that ask like, oh, where's Arturo? And they're always happy to see you.
You probably have your fans, and then Kevin probably has his fans.
I have 0 fans.
You probably have fans, Kevin. Like
actually, I was on Fuck.
4 years is a long fucking time.
I was on Tinder.
Yeah, it's too long.
No.
I should have ended this a long time ago.
No.
Actually, I was thinking about this. You say your thing, and then I'll say my
Okay,
thing.
I'll say my thing.
I think if I remember my thing after you say your thing.
Yeah, I was on Tinder, and I was messaging this girl, and she's messaging me, and she was like, "Hey, are you the turtle that does stand up? Because I want you to know that you're really good looking and charming, but you don't look as good as you do in pictures. Maybe you should take more pictures." And then she told me that she needs to stop fucking comics because she's gonna get like a mental disease.
That's all she does. Is she just hooks up with
Yeah,
comics
she hooks
on
up with
Tinder.
like a lot of them.
Oh my god.
Who
There's
is she?
just so many things.
Who is she? What's her name?
I
Can
forget
we
her
come
name.
up with a
just
name?
for-
Like a puck bunny, but like for
Just
comics?
for Chuckle Fucker.
Chuckle Fucker!
That, I didn't come up with that. That's actually what
That's
it's
what
already
it's actually
called.
called? Okay, I
Chuckle
didn't know that.
Fuckers.
That's what I was wondering. Chuckle Fuckers.
Yeah.
Chuckle Fuckers are so funny! They should be comedians.
They're just little groupies. Some of them do actually try to do stand up for, they want to try stand up. And
Some
that's
of them
how
start off as comedians.
that's how you sort of like get sucked into the whole world as you go to shows, and then like some
I
people
feel like
are
that
just
was really mean.
could be
That's how.
depends on if they know that you're talking about
I'm not
them.
talking about anybody in specifics. I'm just saying it's a trend I've noticed.
Yeah.
I personally have
What's the trend? I missed it.
People start doing comedy and then they start fucking comics.
and then they're
Oh.
no
Yeah,
longer
but that's
comics,
just
they're chuckle
human,
fuckers.
though.
That's just
No,
people.
but
That's just-
also if you wanted to, I am a firm believer in when you're trying to be a professional in any kind of
but
career.
no one is right when they start.
No, but okay,
And
and
we're
that's
all
fine.
young,
And I'm not trying to
and
say
we
that
all have
I'm
erections.
I've
Yeah.
definitely fucked around, but also
Oh yeah.
there's a certain point where it's
Easy.
I do think there's a point where you're taking advantage.
Yeah. What?
You're taking advantage because you're
Some people can't.
and I'm not
It's a case by case.
targeting
basis.
anything, but I do think that when it becomes to a point where it's all you're doing is seeking out validation through these comics, and I could be wrong, and I feel like a part of me I'm slut shaming a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think that you're as a woman you can't be taken there's a respect that is just not given to you when you start
Yeah.
fucking around like that
May I ask one
Yeah.
question? Do you think that these women who fucking all these comics, do you think they're just setting a bad example?
maybe
Is that what you're angry about?
well I'm not it's
'Cause
not
that
like I'm
makes
angry
sense.
I think it's
Yeah.
setting a bad example or
I
it's
get that.
setting an expectation for
Mhm.
other male comics
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that it's this is how it is. I'm just
Mhm.
saying
Yeah.
from experience I've noticed there is I've been straight up asked are you flirting with me or are you just being friendly
Yeah.
and it's I'm obviously just being friends with you I'm obviously just because I'm a woman and just because you're a man doesn't mean that I'm fucking flirting with you it's very frustrating.
I see.
Other
And
side
then-
of that, sorry if I can,
Yeah,
if I can
no.
interject.
We're
Other
so
side of
polite
that, I've been in a conversation with someone where they just turn around and say hey, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not gonna go home with you tonight. I'm not gonna sleep with you. And I was like, we're just hanging out after a show. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I was being friendly, and I don't know if I'm giving off that vibe or not, but it's not my intention.
I think it's always honestly. I think when in situations like
And
that and
so
this
it's-
one,
but
I
it's
think it's the other person projecting. I think it's them, and I think that comedy is difficult because it's you're in a bar and it's that nightlife atmosphere.
And it's
and
young
there's
people,
young people,
attractive people.
sometimes
Yeah,
like.
but being funny makes you more attractive.
Well, that's true, and
The
I don't know.
confidence, really, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
true.
huge factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're funny on stage and you know it and you're confident about it, you have a certain amount of swagger,
Mhm.
especially if someone just saw you
kill
perform
it.
and
Yeah.
you did well. You made a
And
whole
then-
crowd of people laugh,
Yeah.
and then they see that, and it's
Oh
like,
Just waving this big dick and
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you know what? It's
I've
It's
been there. I'm not
intoxicating.
saying that I've never
it's
been there.
intoxicating.
Yeah.
And
You've
and
been there a lot.
I've been there a lot actually, but I also have been. I've been also
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
No, it's fine. You have a valid point.
I just I'm why if you want to be taken seriously,
Yeah.
men and women probably aren't going to take you seriously if you're just there to fuck.
Yeah.
But here's the double standard: is that like male comics, we don't feel that pressure at all. It's like you're allowed
Yeah, it is a double standard.
You're allowed to have as much sex as
But I
you
also
can
think
get.
that male comics are disgusting sometimes. Like, I
Yeah.
think that the
Well, yeah,
behavior is disgusting.
We totally are.
Like, and I just like the fact that, like, it's like this sex-scapade kind of thing, and it gets really, like, it's like, is that all
But
this is for? Like,
But
Yeah.
if everyone.
and if I don't want to fuck you,
involved-
you're not going to give me spots on
But
your
also
show.
too,
Like,
also
I'm clearly funnier
yeah.
than the comic you fucked.
yeah.
That's where it starts to get dicey because it's bullshit like that. So like when it comes into like favoritism and like someone who has a position of power
And that's predatory.
and the ability to sort of like shape someone's career or give opportunities, and they start giving it to the people that don't necessarily have the same amount of skill or experience or
Like, I'm not saying
dedication.
they could or they don't. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that in that time, the only reason that they're getting
Yeah.
those opportunities is because they're being plowed.
Also though, like you could say
I've been plowed. I just choose not to be plowed by people who can influence my career.
yeah. Also, you could say like it's really hard in Edmonton because like it's such a small community. Rather than maybe you can get more professional like courtesy like in a bigger city. You know what I mean? Because like you can do so much more like
Yeah.
in a bigger city.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
could also just get fucked by a bunch of loser comics in
There's
in a
loser
big
comics
city.
Yeah.
everywhere. There's fucking and also
So
like
maybe it just depends on like the person. But like yeah, it's all valid points.
I don't.
Yeah.
But also like to each their own. Live your best life. Fuck
Yeah.
whoever the fuck you want. Like I am not judging. I don't want to. I know it probably came. I feel like I came off as judgy,
No.
and I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like I am all for having a good time. Like fucking fuck who you
Yeah,
want.
that's
But, like,
that's part of how fun
I just
the
think-
scene is.
well,
is
I just think
young
it can get
people-
really messy,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, why would you want to do
Feelings.
that to yourself and to others? Because that's like this is supposed to be like a professional environment, and like maybe it's not that professional, and like maybe I'm just being a prude, but I also think that like when you mix that kind of professionalism with that kind of intimacy, I think that it can get really messy really quick,
Yeah.
and like.
And then someone
And then
that
that
someone
one
that
other
starts
person-
up. Yeah.
Another person could stop doing comedy because
Yeah.
they feel like they're
Yeah.
not welcome anymore,
Yeah.
or like.
It can be a really sort of dangerous
It's just
position.
like, why
to
would
be
you
in.
want to? If this is something you want to pursue, why are you jeopardizing that? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I often don't think that that's like the.
Then why are they doing that?
Well, the
why are
thought
they
in like
doing
the
that?
forefront
Just
of
sex,
their
I
brain.
think.
Sex.
Why are they here then?
Sex is fun.
That's like not good enough.
But like people
Yeah.
fuck their coworkers all the time. That's what this is.
I
It's
don't.
Coworkers
Yeah,
fucking each other.
technically
I know.
this is a job, you know, like.
Yeah, but like
Don't
I
shit
know,
where you eat.
I know. Yeah, that's what we say, but like it's never practiced. I know people from like the emergency medical places and stuff like EMS and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and I've heard stories of
Yeah.
like nurses fucking paramedics and like
Oh
everything.
yeah, I'm
There's,
sure
like,
it's
a
just
whole-
as fucking messy in there too.
Yeah,
like,
but like to say that's clearly sanctioned.
no, but they also
Right?
have to like probably like talk to HR. We don't have an HR.
Okay, that's where it gets difficult. In that there's
We don't
no,
have
there's
protections for predators.
there's no employment.
I mean, you could
It's
like.
yeah, there's
you
no.
couldn't file a complaint, be like, hey, this guy.
We can't file a complaint because the minute somebody complains against another comic, they are like it's not.
There's a
It's
lot-
really hard.
There's a lot of huge scandals.
There's so
over
many
the
things
last
are
couple
swept
years.
under the rug. The Comedy Factory, the fact or the fucking whatever the fuck it's called, the fact that is still running and it's still being booked and it's still being booked by people who are taking advantage of comics, who don't pay their comics for their time. The fact that is swept under the rug and people are just like, just don't fucking go there. That's not okay. Just
Yeah.
cut
Well,
them from their fucking authority.
We
Get a new host.
And-
Get something.
yeah.
Shut it down.
As a community, we've kind of blackballed that venue because we don't tell people to be like.
But we don't tell people. So then imagine this. Picture this,
We
guys.
don't tell
Picture-
people to not go there. But
Picture this, a young new comic, probably a woman, goes there,
Yeah.
not knowing what is like the past or whatever. She goes, she wants to do time. She's offered 30 minutes. She's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
fucking fantastic. I can work on my headline material, even though I started a month ago. Like, it's great, good for them, but also, like, she's naive. They're naive. She's not going to know that,
because-
like,
Yeah,
there's
because
just,
there's no sort of institution in place. There's no like organization saying like, hey, this is a sort of like a certified place to
If
do
it's
it.
like a shady place, why is it open? Like,
But-
why is it? It's still
Because they probably have a business license.
Yeah,
But
but my question is,
I
like,
just like if
like
no
someone
one goes
could
there.
We're not
be,
in control.
you know?
I'm just confused. Like,
no,
why?
yeah.
Why is there these like if it's such a problem area, then why isn't anybody doing anything about it?
But people can do, like, if like let's say you feel, I'm not saying do it, like do what you want, but like if you feel like a certain way about a place, like you have all the power to change it, Sasha. Like you're a strong woman, like you can do whatever you want. I believe in you.
Yeah, do you want to
Yeah, but also I don't want to.
commit crimes?
Not like crimes.
I'm all down for crime.
But if you want to change something, Sasha, like I 100% know that you can do it.
Thank you, but I also don't agree.
No, that's fine.
I just like.
Yeah, we
Like it's hard.
It's just like I see so many things
Yeah.
being swept under the rug or ignored, and like, but like, it's still like, it's like the elephant in the room kind of thing, and like everybody is like poking at it and like poking at it, but it's like, why can't we just fucking pop it? Why do we have to keep the elephant around?
Well,
Yeah,
'cause-
Elephantino or food.
So,
Like it's just not a good look. I don't think
but it's like
it's not very supportive.
it's not associated
It's not-
with the scene.
It's not very
It's
safe.
ostracized.
Yeah, but at the same time, people don't know that.
The
Like-
public doesn't know that.
But also, new comics don't know that.
Not necessarily, no. But if they take the time to talk to like any comic in the scene, I'm almost certain that most people would be like, "Oh, don't go there. It's a fucking."
I'm
waste
just
of
pretty
time."
like I'm just maybe it's like I remember being approached about the Comedy Factory like when I first started, and they were like, "Oh, you should come here," and I was like, "Oh, maybe," and then I heard like a year later, I never went because I was like didn't know where it was, but then like a year later, I hear all the shit, and I'm like I am a naive person, like I could be taking advantage, like I don't know, I've been taken advantage of, I can be taken advantage of, and it like me seeing people taking advantage of other people bothers me.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's your feelings are valid.
Yeah.
But you're also right. It's we've got. There's,
you.
oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, so much support and love.
Yeah.
But no, I understand what you're saying in that there's no sort of like.
Policing? It's not even that I want policing or policies.
Yeah.
It's just that I want a better, like if we're gonna talk about having safe, supportive spaces or having supportive, if we have this great supportive community, where is it? Where is it? Like I want to know, like why are we supporting like these comics or showrunners who don't provide anything but like discourse?
I don't see any of those comics that do the Comedy Factory. I don't see any of them
I don't
in the
see
scene.
them either. No, I know. I'm just.
They
like,
don't go to the other shows. They're not. They're not
So
running
it's not
other
even like
shows.
it's like their own scene. Then they're like so ostracized. Like so why do people who are so shitty that like why do they get a safe space?
Yeah, they're a tumor on the side of the scene.
I think people that are so shitty because like it's kind of like roaches, you know.
Yeah.
Like roaches are always gonna be here.
It's definitely a different era of comedy that performs at the Comedy Factory.
Yeah.
It's a clean club. You're not allowed to say the F word.
That alone is ridiculous. The fact that there's a rule.
Yeah.
Like a rule.
But like,
But
I've also heard stories of people going there and performing and saying fuck, and they just don't fucking care. Like, it's not like they cut your mic or anything like that. They just won't invite you back, and like, it's kind of like you're like fine, whatever. Yeah, but like it's a different era of comedy. Like just go to the website and just see how backwards it is. It looks like it's from 1992.
Yeah, I saw.
And like all the style of comedy there is like terrible 90s.
I just
hack shit.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's like the good old like the heyday. It's like it reminds me of like
it's the bad time.
But it reminds me of like an old man being like, I want to open a club, and I want to focus on the good days of comedy where we could be racist and sexist and we could say whatever the fuck we want, but no fucking fucks.
Yeah, don't say the F
Don't
word.
say fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and then they open a club and no one fucking goes there.
Well,
but,
people all
but that's the thing.
People
about,
obviously go there.
That's the thing about like.
Also, do people go there?
I don't know, but like that's the thing. You're allowed to do that now, right? Like
I've
you're
had
just allowed. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, you talk.
You're just like allowed to do that, right? Like it sucks, but like you're just allowed to do that. Like you're allowed to.
Aren't they embarrassed?
No, that's the thing though. Like because like we live in a world.
They've got no responsibility to the rest of the world to be progressive.
But the thing is, like there are people.
And they do.
Like you're just allowed
No one
to
technically
do
does.
whatever you want at a universal
I
scale.
disagree.
Do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying in that you think like mature, responsible people are concerned with stuff like that.
Yeah.
You.
They're just not.
But you choose your level of participation. If
Yeah, I
you
guess.
want,
Yeah.
if you want to be bigoted and make terrible sexist, racist jokes, you can. But like
no one's gonna like you.
the audience response should tell you that we've moved on from that type of comedy.
Like I understand
It's
making.
not. It's no longer okay to do an act where you literally just do racist accents.
like shitting on minority, like shitting on ostracization.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't just do that anymore. You don't get the same response that you would 30 years ago from a crowd. Yet when you go to the Comedy Factory, it's like its own little time bubble. You people can still say those things, and they'll still get a reaction of laughter. It's fucking weird. And I know for a fact that I've had people in my life, like coworkers and stuff, when they find out, they're like, "Oh, hey, you do stand-up comedy? That's cool." And then like they start talking for a bit, and then I ask them if they've been anywhere in the city to see stand-up comedy, because there's like a thing where you can love stand-up comedy and you can view a lot of it, but you don't necessarily have to view a live show.
Yeah.
Like you can watch specials on Netflix, you
There's
can
so many
download
now.
albums.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of sort of input on stand-up comedy, but if you never go to a live show, it's like it's different when it's live.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of character in each individual city and stuff like that, and different rooms are different crowds and stuff like that. So I remember talking to this one particular coworker, and she asked me where I did comedy. And I listed off a bunch of like local bar shows, and then I said I'll go to the comic strip, and I'll go to Yuck Yucks, and I name dropped Grindstone, and then she's like, "What's that one place in Bowling Alley and Gateway?" And I was like, "Oh, the Comedy Factory." I was like, "Yeah, don't go there."
Yeah.
Yeah, I straight up told her. I was like, "That's not a place."
That's like the general.
But that's the only place that she knew. It's the only place that she knew when she was thinking of comedy in Edmonton.
I think it's because the name, the Comedy Factory. Like that's a good name.
It's a
for
terrible name.
Well, like if you think about like the Laugh Factory or whatever, and like all
I just don't like the
fucking
word
places.
factory.
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah.
Paired
But it
next to-
sounds like it could be legit. It sounds like it
Yeah,
could
you're
be
right.
to
It's-
like someone who isn't aware or well versed in the fucking world of stand-up bullshit. Like it's
Yeah, you're right. It's a valid name.
I honestly believe like stand-up comedy, like it can be done anywhere. Like you don't need like a space.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like that's
you no longer need a fucking stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like anyways, like you were saying, like
I've never
people
done that.
like they say they like miss me or whatever, blah blah blah. But like honestly, like I've never felt part of the community, and like it's not like a bad thing. Like I don't like hate anyone. I don't like
Yeah, you're
think that
just
they're shit.
separate.
But like I just enjoy my independency, and I
Yeah,
enjoy like doing
as
my
you
own
should.
thing. And like
Yeah, you're part of the scene, but you're not like engrossed in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like if I
I
want,
don't think anybody. I don't think it's healthy to be super engrossed in it.
I don't know if I want to do stage
It's
time.
like a toll on you mentally.
If I want to
I
do
think
stage
so.
time or like something like that, I'd want to do it like differently. Like I talk about this a lot, but I've always wanted to do like an outside show where like I just
Yeah.
do stand up outside. Like, cause
Yeah.
like the same people that walk the streets would come in the bar, like they're the same
Yeah.
people. And I've always wanted to like videotape myself doing stand up comedy in the LRT. You know, I think that would be a fun way because like I think it would just be interesting to see like a different venue because like, I've done bar shows, I've done comedy rooms, I've done like those kind of stuff, and like
Yeah.
they're fun, and I enjoy like watching jokes rise and fall and shit like that. I enjoy like the mathematician of it all.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I don't know, like now we live in the world where I can tell a joke anywhere.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Like I can like
Well,
You
I
can
can
tell it
like
anywhere,
pause
you
for a
can
sec,
record it.
do my entire set, and then like I know a bunch of people will watch it. The same people that go to a show.
Yeah.
By the way, just kidding. Start telling the jokes.
But like that's something that I've learned that like Dave Chappelle did. Like when he was really young and he couldn't get into the clubs because he was like 15 and stuff like that. He would just do sets in front of the wherever he was doing, like whatever comedy club was there. He would just do sets
Yeah.
in front of it on the street to people, and because he's like so good and like dedicated at it, like
Charismatic.
charismatic. He's a real character on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
Like you really connect with his personality, regardless of how you feel about his jokes.
No, but like an entertainer is an entertainer
Yeah.
regardless. Like if you can have like qualms against someone's material, but like in the end, if you watched and you listened and you found them entertaining, that is all that mattered.
Yeah, isn't an entertainer and if the crowd laughed, the crowd laughed.
The material comes with like I think like the more you do it.
But also like I like the way that Dave Chappelle articulates his ideas. Like to me, his jokes are so cohesive that like I really like I don't get distracted when I listen to his comedy. Mm-hmm. If I'm watching a Dave Chappelle stand-up special, like I'll watch it. I don't look at my phone. I don't like play on my DS. Like I'm not distracted at all. It's like he has my attention for the full time that he's on screen, and then and that's it. So I'm just like totally engrossed, and like that's some of the stuff that he did when he first started out. Is he just started doing it on the street because he couldn't get enough of it. Yeah. Because he did do clubs and stuff when he was underage. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I've heard that.
And that's why I don't.
Oh, Brad.
The one thing I don't.
There's another comic in the Edmonton scene. He was also doing shows when he was underage.
I stuck him into Black Dog once.
Yeah, he got snuck into bars and stuff like that, and he would do sets, and then he would leave immediately afterwards because he wasn't allowed to be there. So it's possible. And if you are underage and want to do stand-up comedy, there is sort of like an opening for you. Clubs and stuff that do like an amateur night. Yeah. I think the comic strip is open to, I think the comic strip is definitely open to people that are like 16 and shit like that.
They have a 16 and over rule.
Yeah. If I may,
which is pretty young.
The one thing I don't like about stand-up comedy is like if you work from like this time to that time, like point A to point B, and you work those hours, and then like you like wait in line or like you wait in the office or like you wait in the kitchen, whatever, right? Because every job just becomes a job, and then afterwards you wait for the show to start, then you wait for your spot to get on, then you wait for your stage time, then you wait for the end of the show. You know, there's a lot of waiting that I don't like, and that's what like I don't like because. If I were to wait for things, it'd be drugs. It's not like my next step in life. Like that just seems like a waste of time. Like all that waiting I could be working, right? And like that's what bothers me about like stand-up comedy. And that's why I like the idea of like going on an LRT or going to the street because I can do so much. I can bring up my camera, I can make a video, I can do other videos on the street, I can like just write, I can like just do whatever I want on there, right? Because there's so much I can do.
The possibilities
are endless.
Really are endless.
But we had a fun time like when we went to Vancouver.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because what we found in Vancouver when we first went was because we didn't know anyone there or anything like that, you just kind of like found out when the shows were, lined up how many shows, you contacted the hosts, and you like if you tried to get on a show, like sometimes you would get a response, sometimes you wouldn't, whatever, and then you would just go to a show, and if you could get on, you got on. And then you would bounce to the next show. And it would just be like a constant cycle of like showing up, doing comedy, leaving, and just doing that like 3 or 4 times a night.
Because it felt like a cool race, you know, like you were trying to get your joke as good as you can. When I went to Toronto, I do like 3-4 shows a night, and that was fun because like I do one show, I'm like, oh, where are you guys going? Oh, we're in this next show. Boom, then I get the address, do it fast. Like it felt so alive rather than just like here. It's like I wait and then I wait. And then I wait, and then I do well or good, but then I have to wait for the next day. It doesn't. Feels weird to me.
It's very slow moving, kind of.
There are more shows in Edmonton now. There's some nights where you can do like 2 or 3 or 4 shows. Yeah. But it's not.
There was a while where there was a lot of shows.
There's still always quite a bit.
No, like a couple years ago, there was like a lot of shows, but now there's a lot, but it's not as much.
I don't know. I feel
3
like
shows a night.
Yeah, I feel like our number of shows has been growing, and also like the quality of shows has been growing too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
that's true.
I remember, I did a show on a Friday. Was it Friday that the High Hostel show ran?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was Fridays.
Yeah, because like it's very hard for amateur shows to get going on a weekend because good comics they're not available on the weekends because they're too busy working the clubs getting paid to do stand-up comedy. Whereas when you're just in like the amateur scene and you want to do a show on like a club night, it's super tough to justify that because like who the fuck is going to show up for that as far as comics, as far as like entertainers. And then also most bars will make way more bank on a Friday or a Saturday night just being a bar on a
Yeah.
Friday or
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Comedy, if anything, would like impede that money.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah.
There's definitely some bars that have tried to run nights on, or run comedy nights on popular nights.
Yeah.
And the show eventually, well, it loses,
Killed it in a bad way.
it loses steam, and like just it doesn't get enough traffic, and then people start avoiding that place because they know that there's a comedy show there, and they're not going there to see a comedy show. They're going there to get fucked up. And
It's hard to get fucked up at a comedy show because you have to be quiet.
well, yeah, it's just like in a bar. When you think about it, and people are like, okay, we're gonna pre-drink at so-and-so's apartment, then we're gonna get all dolled up, and we're gonna go to a bar, and we're gonna continue the party, and people are loud, and they're having fun, and they're just being sort of like their, what's the word? Extroverted selves. And you walk into someone trying to make a joke about how they live with a cat. And it's like a very different energy. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't gel in the same way, and it can really...
It's not a vibe.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
So, yeah, comedy has to coexist with the venue, and if the venue deems that a comedy show isn't profitable, the comedy show goes away. And I think that's perfectly valid. They're a fucking business, and we're just trying to...
If they're losing money, they're not going to want to keep doing it.
Yeah, there's no way
There's no
they can
point.
justify it.
I've talked
Unless
this,
they, like,
I've talked
love
about this
comedy.
with you a lot, Kevin,
Even then.
where I've said like the hecklers. If a heckler happens to me, I truly think like the hecklers. It's part of the comedy. Like I think it is.
It is unfortunately a skill that you have to build. It's an eventuality that will happen.
Yeah.
If you do stand-up comedy, you will get heckled.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's just
people will be loud. People won't pay attention. And like
Yeah.
that's.
Especially at a bar.
I really
Bar
think
shows
like
almost
that's part
invite
of the
Yeah.
thing though. Like if you really want to fully love stand-up comedy and like you want to love everything about it, like that's part of like the love. Like
Yeah.
You have to
grow-
look.
Yeah,
Because,
it's
like,
but
at
it's
some-
a love-hate.
Yeah. At some point in time, like, do you hate the heckler or do you hate that they're not listening to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right? Because like if a good comic goes on stage, if there's a heckler for like 5 comics and one really good comic that you know kills it and he kills it, the heckler doesn't say anything, it's because he was good and the other 5 weren't, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's good comics that have a skill to sort of like take a heckler, take that aggressive energy and turn it on its head and make everyone happy. They can make the crowd laugh. They sort of de-escalate the situation with the heckler, and then they still have their own set. And then they still get to do that. But like that's a high level of controlling a crowd, being funny, knowing what to say, and it just no one starts there. You learn that skill, you build it, and it's like whenever chances are when a heckler shoots something funny
Just poo.
at a comic,
Gross.
the comic is probably likely to dismantle that heckler
Yeah.
because they've encountered that heckler or that type of heckler hundreds of times before, depending on how many times they've been on stage. So, and it's having that backup confidence of having done so many shows and done so well, and seeing hecklers in the past and stuff like that. Like every time a heckler fucking speaks up, it's for them it's the first time, or it has like this new mystique or something like that. It's not necessarily the first time, but it's like it's
Like
something,
I shouldn't be doing this.
yeah, they know that they shouldn't be doing
Or they think
it.
they're funnier.
They definitely think
what
they're
they
funny,
think.
or
What
they
I
just
have to say is funnier.
yeah. There's all different types of hecklers. There's the over enthusiastic person that just wants to participate.
Yeah.
There's the really drunk person that has no idea what's going on. There's the aggressive dude with the backwards hat that thinks he's funnier than you. So there's all different kinds, and it takes a
It's like
different.
with Alzheimer's who doesn't know where he is.
Can I tell you guys a great story
But-
about Toronto, but
Yeah.
kind of a heckler?
Yeah, absolutely. But like, it just takes a different skill set to deal with
Yeah.
each different form of.
And it's all, and like, I'm pretty sure like when you go up and you like look at like maybe, I don't know, like you're in front of thousands of people and there's no hecklers, like you're probably going to look back on the hard times.
Mhm.
You know, because
Yeah.
like when I look back, I don't remember the good sets. I remember like the really fucked up, really
Yeah.
stupid fucking sets, right? And I laugh at them now. I remember I was in Toronto and I went on stage and like it was the Sonic Cafe and the show went to like 4 a.m. and there was like probably like 50 or more comics that went up.
Oh,
And the stage was upstairs, and there was a big party downstairs. And so, like, sometimes you'd get a full room, sometimes you wouldn't get a...
Like a rave?
Like, no, it was just a bar party.
Just a party.
Yeah.
Bar
Okay.
party.
And so the room was upstairs, and this guy did a great job. It was one host. And so each comic does 10 minutes.
Fuck.
So the host of the show, he brings me up, and I'm like, this is my like first year, and like, I'm really nervous and shit, and I'm like, I'm not the comic I am now. Like now I'm like, I just don't care. So like, but before I was like really robotic. I would read my jokes like 5 times in a row, and I'd read them out loud 5 times in a row, and I would like recite them like over and over again. And if I fucked up a line, I would like freeze, and I would like just get off the stage. I wouldn't know what to do. I would like blank, and like I'd have, like it would just be terrible.
Yeah.
I remember went on Black Dog, and the same thing happened. I got on stage, and I got the mic, and I said one joke wrong, and I was like, "Thank you," and then I just like bolted out, bolted out of there. And then I asked the host of the show, I was like, "So how'd I do?" Like a fucking face. And then, so anyways, back to Sonic Cafe. I was upstairs, and the same thing happened. Like I was saying my joke, and then I said one word wrong, and I just totally froze, and I instantly forgot every joke I've ever wrote, and I didn't have any paper. I was just like so scared, and I still had 9 minutes left.
Oh my god!
And this is the thing. There's a party downstairs, right?
Yeah.
So that means the host of the show has to go downstairs, finds the next comic who could be fucking, who could be drinking, who could like be missing, whatever, because it's a big party. And so I'm up there for at least like 14 minutes, right? Because the host of the show is finding the next comic, and I'm just babbling on for 10 minutes, for 14 minutes straight. No one's saying a thing. I can hear the outside, and I can feel the downstairs party on my feet.
Yeah.
And the only laugh I got was someone sneezed, and I was like, I'll take that as a laugh. And everyone laughed. And I was like, yeah, let's keep it going. And then they all shut the fuck up. Like, no one said anything.
That's so
and then the host of the show came up, and then he like took me off, he grabbed the mic, he's like, what the fuck happened? And then he's like, I'm not going to waste any more time. Your next comic up, he's super sick. And then the next comic came up. And he's like drunk as fuck, right? That's why the host took so long, because his comic's drunk. And the comic goes up, he's like, yeah, I'm sick. What about it, huh? You think it's funny that I'm fucking sick? That I'm fucking dying? You think it's fucking funny that I have terminal ill cancer? And that you think that's funny? He found out that he had terminal ill cancer that day. And he went to the comedy show, got drunk. And when the host said, this guy's sick, he got sick.
He got
he was just
fucking...
Yeah.
Oh!
And then he went on again, because the host went downstairs, and then the guy went on for 10 minutes. And the host coach show came 9 minutes, and the guy's like screaming at the audience, like fuck you, blah blah. The host was like, what the fuck? And I just hear him whisper like 2 in a row, what the fuck? And then he grabs the mic, takes one, he's like, I don't know. And he does his host thing. He's a great host. He does his host
But he has
thing.
no idea.
Yeah,
what's
and
happening.
then the cool thing with the show, the cool thing with the host, like, he's like, so what happened, guys? Like, walk me through it. And, like, they tell him, he's like, what the fuck? I meant sick. Like, kick flip. No.
I love how you're using your thumb as a microphone.
And then, I remember I went downstairs. And I see the host of the show, like, talking to the guy. And he's like, I meant sick. Like, you're good. Yeah. He's like, fuck you, I'm sick. He's like, you know what? Fuck you, I'm glad you're sick. And then, And then I went, like, of course I'm a comic, so I went back the next day.
Yeah.
I went back the next day.
Of course you did. You were like, that was a great set.
I can do it. And I did better next time. It was a full room of people that were watching me the first time that I was mom in front of.
Yeah.
And so the second time I went up, it was like 3 people. I was more loose. I didn't read any of my paperwork. I just knew where I was going. And like they were laughing, we're having a good time. And the host was like, hey Arturo, good job, buddy. And like finally, and like it like went up. And then it taught me, like, in those moments of like failure teach you like what really is going on. Because life
can be the same mistake twice, the same way.
Because life can be really terrible, but I really feel that life, the punishment it gives you, or like the hard times it gives you, it's just lessons, but like they're really harsh lessons because it's your life, right? It's not like you, I don't know, like I grab this and I like write on Kevin's table. He's gonna tell me like, hey man, that was a mistake, right? It's not that bad of a mistake, blah blah blah. But like life will like teach me a harder lesson to learn, and those lessons you really have to listen.
So Leslie is like very birdy. Do you smell that?
You're having a stroke.
Maybe. I hope so.
I don't know. There's like other people in the house. My neighbor could be making food. I don't know.
Smells like a
what
hair straightener.
My neighbor could be straightening their hair.
She shouldn't be able to smell that.
My ghost could be straightening her hair.
Can I tell you guys?
You're beautiful.
Can I tell you a ghost story?
Woo.
Sorry, just to
Yeah.
In
what were you
4
gonna say?
minutes, because I just do want to stop.
just to add.
I'm done.
Do you have to poop?
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm
that's
over
it.
it.
Just to add to what you're saying, with like bombing and having hecklers and like having bad sets, that's the same thing with what you were saying with fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Getting hit and finding out that it's not that bad
Dust
makes
yourself
you
off
better.
and move on.
Well, no, so once you lose the fear of having it happen to you because it's happened to you,
Oh, trust, yeah.
you can push through all those emotions because you're like, fuck it, I've already been
I
here.
don't
Yeah,
get
exactly.
embarrassed
Exactly.
anymore, which
You
is
should.
nice. I don't. I literally don't. I think it's because of how many times I've bombed on stage.
Yeah.
Like, I literally do not give a
I go on
fuck.
stage thinking I'm gonna bomb. When I did my last show at the McEwen, and that was a pretty good set actually.
That was a
I-
dope set.
I thought I was gonna bomb. I was gonna, man, I'm gonna fucking bomb for all these kids.
All these young
All these
kids.
fucking university students with their fucking lives.
And all I think was like, why
They're
can't I
not
just be
doing
like Bo
comedy.
Burnham? They like me.
Yeah.
And like I went on, I just like, and I did my first joke, and it was like dumb joke. It was what was it? It was like I have infatuation with taller women. Not saying short women aren't great, but if I want to find a girl my height, I'd have to go to recess. Thank you. And they all laughed, and I was like, man, I should do the rest of that joke set. I should do the entire thing. And I was like, I don't want to do the set.
It's really old.
Yeah, and like they actually liked that I was like up there, I was like, fuck this place, like fuck you. And then I was like talking about my boots, and I talked about like cocaine math. Like that was like those kind of sets where like you learn on the fly, like they're just
Yeah.
funner, you know. You don't always have to have a good set.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have a good podcast. You know, something.
I agree. This episode's gonna be shit.
Yeah.
Why?
This is
Some.
you're
tired.
just upset that you got so loud and angry about that one
I
thing.
didn't get loud and angry. I got passionate.
I'm saying loud and angry as a good thing. Those are
I'm
positive.
loud and bitchy.
Yeah, it's part of the show.
No, we can have bad episodes. We can have good episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've already
Like-
had 4 bad episodes.
Yeah, we're allowed to make mistakes.
The
We're
podcast
learning.
is never going to end, right? We
Yeah,
can just do new
exactly.
things, we can do
Yeah.
fun things,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
But it's
That's
all part of
the
the-
beauty.
yeah, that's part of it.
Life.
That's part of it.
It's red. I like watching how the cam. The
Do you do this
Oh.
on fucking purpose? Yeah, that's more work I have to do, Sausha. Every time.
When it gets that loud, it's bad.
Like, you're just like making more work that I have to do. Why?
Stop it. Stop just screaming. I have neighbors.
It's 4 p.m. It's fine.
It's not 4 p.m.
5
Are you guys
p.m.
hungry?
It's fine.
We can
I'm
get food
going
out.
home.
I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah.
I have to go home before
Why?
Urban Tavern, because Levi has the day off and we've been fighting, so I have to.
So you have to
Why
go
longer?
finish the
I
fight?
have to go kiss him.
Oh, okay.
No,
Maybe-
I have to go
maybe-
finish the fight.
Yeah, go put his head in the sink.
I fucking might.
Yeah. Teach him who's
Do you want
boss.
to get some meat?
Yeah, we can get food.
Are you guys gonna go to Urban Tavern later?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll-
I'm going to Urban Tavern because I don't work tomorrow.
Fuck yes! I have a $25 gift certificate that Ryan Shore gave me last week.
Nice, can I have it?
No, fine. I'll buy you an iced tea though.
Oh, that's thick!
You probably get iced tea for free there.
Yeah,
No, but
the
I
lady,
wouldn't buy
new
it.
lady bartender, I asked her for a pop and I was gonna give her my ticket and she was like,
Yeah.
just keep it. What the fuck? And I was like, are you mean?
Did she
right
say
now?
what the fuck to
Dude.
you?
Yeah, she was like, what the fuck?
New
Really?
lady bartender?
Yeah, Urban Tavern. She was like, I'm not, no, like, the pop is like, she's just.
I can let the cameras go, right?
I don't want to get her in
Yeah.
trouble though.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
sick.
That's fine. See, that's probably.
Let's.
I give people free pop.
I'm
all
gonna
of the
time
Yeah,
I'm
Free
gonna
pop
that's a
and
nice
coffee.
thing to do.
I'm gonna time
If I
the
know.
timer.
If it's of some random.
I'm gonna flash the timer as it goes, and then it's gonna cut.
Are you gonna flash them your little boobies?
Yeah, I'm gonna flash my boobies.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah.
You're gonna see some toots.
But no, I do really
Our
like.
girls' tits are nicer than mine. It's true.
I really do like that idea of you have to get over the fear of doing poorly
Yeah.
in order to do well, and it works on
It's
so
just
many
like
levels.
being not being afraid to fall, like when you were learning to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Same kind of
It's
concept.
that fear of failure, that
Yeah.
fear of rejection,
Yeah.
that really
Oh.
holds people back.
Oh, I'm so afraid of I did my learners. I took the learners
Ooh,
test.
learners are hard.
I
I
did
did
it.
like 15 times in a row, failed it.
I fucking have done it once. And I
He did it. He did it.
I failed with 4.
Why are the cameras off? Oh shit.
The cameras aren't off.
This whole time.
That's embarrassing.
That's okay.
You should be.
I mean, you can edit it so that it ends at the same time.
I like it.
You
but
don't
I
want
also
to.
like, oh no.
It didn't work. Fuck.
Oh shit.
The best laid plans always dismantle themselves.
All right.
Sweet. This has been fun, guys.
Yeah,
This
it's a
is
good one.
pretty good. I'm having a stroke. My girlfriend Alexa died.
I feel like that's fake.
Yeah,
I've seen
it is.
that.
I'm J Station is like a fucking piece of shit. He's like one of those YouTube channels that like exclusively manipulate children.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he
I
does
don't-
these things where he's like, Ghost Challenge, 3 a.m. I'm gonna talk to a Ouija board, but it's like a fucking Elmo thing. It's like so obviously fake.
Yeah, but if you were a young, impressionable person, you wouldn't necessarily
Exactly.
think.
Children don't know how to critically think like that. It's not a skill
No,
they learn.
not
until,
yet,
Not
yeah.
yet. Not until they're in like, I think later school years.
Yeah, and everything on the internet is fake. Like you'd be surprised to find out how many things are staged. And
Yeah.
fake.
You guys saw that YouTube like has that law now, the Child Protection Act. They got
Yeah, we do.
sued for like or I think they got sued for like a butt ton of money. So now creators
all
like
those-
Lele Pons,
Because all those pedophiles
Paul, yeah.
and stuff.
no, because all the creators who are creating content for children that's just selling them merchandise and things. Like Lele Pons, Jake Paul, there's Rice Gum, like those like hype houses kind of things, and they're like all these young people who don't make good content. They just make content that's 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 make content